should have a authentication. And so like we are going to have a section with him. And after the sections, we will have some 10 minutes. We will give you, you can ask some questions related to the topic. And once again, on behalf of Kerala chapter, and you are the part of the right now Kerala chapter, Karguvel is our part, right now. He's also part of our Kerala region. And we would like to welcome you for the today's section. And over to Karguvel, you can proceed with the section.
Yes, thank you, Matthew, for the warm welcoming as usual. Thank you. Yeah, good evening to everyone. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah.
You need to allow.
Yeah.
So hope everybody can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. One second. Welcome everyone. So this is my third presentation, Oracle Apex presentations to Ina Kerala chapter. As I am Karkuvel Raja. So Karkuvel Raja Tangamariappan. I am working as a lead engineer in a company called Tamang Properties in Dubai. Yes, I am Oracle certified professional and I am Oracle Ace, having 7+ years of experience in Oracle Apex web application developments. Yes, today topic is pretty easy for experienced people, and this needs to be learned. This will be really helpful for the fresher. So today topic would be custom authentication is Oracle Apex. I think many of them are using all the mobile apps and web application and computers, laptop, so many things you are using. Without authentication, nothing will work. So everybody knows that what is the importance of authentication. And you can ask some questions. Okay, authentication is the same type or different type of authentication is there. So when I started using application, I might have this question that, okay, we are putting credential, how the authentication is working in the backend. So that curiosity made me to take this session for you guys. Okay, so custom authentication is Oracle Apex. We are going to see today. Fine. Can anyone explain what is authentication in a technical manner?
Karguvel, one minute. Can you just full screen? You can put this thing. You can put the show, like go to slideshow.
Sorry, I didn't put one second.
Yeah, go to slideshow and no, go. Yeah, no, not like that. Yeah. Okay. That's right.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Custom authentication. Okay. Anybody, can you explain me what is authentication? Have you heard that authentication? I think that is a day-to-day life, whatever the application we are using. So yeah. First thing would be you need to system has to authenticate you, then only you can use the application, right? Okay, fine.
You switch on your camera. Sorry, switch on your camera and microphone and answer the query. Okay, this is a like interactive section also. You have to hear from your mouth.
Because this is not the complex topic. Because this is everybody knows what is authentication. So I just wanted to hear from somebody, like then it will motivate me to go ahead actually.
Sir, authentication is like a pass you use.
Pass, okay,
like
fine.
Login details.
Okay. Anybody? Oh, fine. Everyone knows that, but they have some hesitation to reveal the answers. Okay, that is okay. Fine. See, first we should understand what is authentication. See, as per my understanding and as per the global understanding, authentication is the process of recognizing the user identity. It's a mechanism of associating an incoming request within a set of identification credentials. See, incoming request means system will receive user ID password. That is called identifying credential. That's what in 2 lines we can describe what is authentication. Authentication is the process of recognizing a user identity. It is a mechanism of associating an incoming request with a set of identifying credentials. Okay, then one more time. Oh, see, and then we have one more explanation for authentication. See, authentication technology provide access control for the system by checking user credential. If it matches in the database of authorized user or data authentication server, then it will allow you to get into the application. So this is what the global description. Describe about authentication. Fine. You can ask, you may think that, okay, what are the different type of authentications are available, like different factors, how many factors are there in the authentication? As per my understanding, as per the global understanding, where I have gone through many blog posts, they have defined, so we have three factor authentication, like one is single factor authentication, another one is two factor authentication, and multi-factor authentication. These all we are come across day-to-day life. So everybody knows that what is single factor authentication, which means it is requiring only user ID and the password. See, when you are logging in your system, so it will ask you, system will prompt you to enter user ID and password. That's enough to identify you. Okay, this user is valid user. That is called single factor authentication. When you are going with single factor authentication, there may be some disadvantages are there. So you need to be very careful when you are handling single factor authentication. So that's what in recent years companies, what they have decided, we need to strengthen our authentication schemes by asking for additional authentication factors like OTP, like they are sending OTPs to the mobile devices, and they will ask you to enable Bluetooth. They will be sending the keys to the Bluetooth, and like biometric signature, like a facial scan or thumb imprint. This is called two-factor authentication. See, first basic authentication will be there, along with one more additional authentication is required. That is called two-factor authentication. Okay, then final is a multi-factor authentication. It will make your application even more stronger. Like nobody can touch your application. It will be like that. See, multi-factor authentication is first user will enter user ID, password. That's okay. And then if system is asking additional authentication, that is two-factor authentication. Additional plus one more additional, more than one additional authentication, we can call it as multi-factor authentication. We are not going to see these factors in our today's session, but I wish you to understand what is authentication and what all the factor authentications are there. That's what I am explaining this concept to you. Okay, fine. And important thing is why authentication is important in cybersecurity. Yes, authentication enables organization to keep their data, keep their application, keep their network secure by permitting only authenticated user. See, the system will allow only the authenticated user. Only authenticated user can access the application or access the network or access the data. And then this may include computer system, networks, databases, websites, and other network as well. Fine. How does custom authentication works? See, anybody can bring the result. See, if you go and type it in the Google, how you can integrate, how you can enable custom authentication in Oracle Apex. Several blog posts will come. See, everyone the following in their own way, but Oracle has given certain way to enable custom authentication, which will take you to the long way. See, I followed Oracle way, and see, as I said, anybody can bring the output, but they don't know what is happening internally. That is lagging in the people actually. So I wanted to understand. I wish make everyone to understand how this process is happening internally. I mean, how does custom authentication is working? See, okay, let's see. During authentication, credentials are provided by the users. Okay, system will get the user ID and the password, and it will compare those credentials with the database of authorized. See, database will have the table will have the authorized user information. They will be comparing both the credential. If the credentials enter are matched, then the authenticated entity is authorized to use the application. Then the system will allow you to access the application, which means system will grant you to access the application. Fine. Let's get into our topic today. Custom authentication. What are the steps involved? Only 3 steps you have to remember. First step would be set up database objects. It's nothing. The database object is nothing but what all are the objects like table, functions, procedures, sequence, triggers. So many people in this group might created custom authentication. They might created the table, functions, procedure, but they don't know what is happening in each line. I will explain you why we are using this function, why we are using this procedure, what is the purpose of this line. Everything I will explain you in the detail. Okay. If you go in the Google, if you go to search in the Google, there are several blog posts on there, but I am posting the code for simple custom authentication scheme here. Okay. So as I told you, 3 steps you need to follow. First is set up database objects and then populate some sample data into the table which you are creating, because currently we don't have UI to create the user. When you come into the real requirement, you build a nice UI to create the user. Then that user detail has to be uh, needs to be stored in the authentication table, and then set up authentication scheme. So 3 steps you need to remember. First is set up database object and then populate some sample data to check or build nice UI to capture the user information, and then set up authentication scheme. So these 3 steps you have to remember. Okay. First, we can create the database objects. Okay. You can ask which database object I have to create first. See, this is the standard way of creating the enabling the custom authentication. First, we start with the function called hash password. See, the important thing is somebody's password, somebody should not know that, right? See, for example, I am maintaining the system. Okay, if I am storing the password in the clear text, admin will know everyone username as well as password. That is wrong. When auditor comes, it will be a problem. So first thing you should remember, we should start with the function called hash password. This will receive only 2 inputs, which is username as well as the password, because both are identity credentials. So this functions receives 2 input parameters and uses the username, password, and a salt string. So what is salt string, you can ask? See, salt string is nothing but the random number. Okay, we are going to see on DBMS quicken function. So that is toolkit Oracle has provided to hash your password with the help of the username which you are giving and the password and salt. So this hash will happen is a combination of username, password, and the salt. That salt string could be anything. See, but it's just a random number. Okay. And then see why we are using this hash password. You can ask question why we need to hash password. I said earlier to make it's like a privacy. We should not get to know others password. And then important thing is to produce a unidirectional hash of the password that can be saved into the database. The function name is called hash password. Okay, I will be showing the function now and I will explain you. See, function is hash password. We have the function. So create or replace function hash password. It has 2 parameters. So one is username varchar and password varchar. And this function is returning varchar. This function will always return the password, which will be hash. Okay, I declared 2 variables. So L password and L salt. Okay, the following salt is an example. Okay, should probably be changed to another random string, which means why I mentioned this like this is, see, this is the keyword I generated using dbms underscore random API. You can generate any text using dbms random package API and you can put it. This is called salt. So as I told you early, that hash password will be getting produced with a combination of username, password, as well as the salt. Okay, let's see. The following encrypts the password using the salt string and the DBMS Authentication toolkit. This is a one way of encryption. This is not, I'm not saying that this is the way of encryption. See, I am following MD5 algorithm. That is big concept, how the MD5 is working. Okay, so I am following MD5 algorithm and I am using DBMS Authentication toolkit to encrypt my password. So there are so many toolkits are there, but I would suggest you to use this toolkit. See, this toolkit has only one parameter, which is input string. See, you need to concatenate password, salt, username, and then salt. You can pick 5 characters or you can pick 10 characters, whatever one. That is up to yourself. So this toolkit will return the hashed password. So hope you guys are understand why we are using this hash password function and how it is working. Fine. Next, we'll go to the PPT. Okay, first we created hash password. Let's assume that we have created hash password. Then next is actual user table. This is very simple table holding only the unique key of the user, like user ID and then the username and the password. Fine. See, if you see this object, first we have created the function. Let's move to the table. Table I called as user. I created a table user with the user ID, username, password, and primary key will be user ID. And constraint, I have created one constraint. Okay, because why? Because username should be unique. See, note and ensure that username should be unique. We do not have any classes. Why we are keeping username is unique is we should not have any classes. So make sure that username should be unique. And then also notice that we will be creating two triggers. See, I will explain you the trigger as well. One trigger is before insert. BI means before insert users, and another one is BU, before update user. So I have created two triggers. See, if you note this point, also notice that in the before update and before insert, we should hash the password using the hash password function. This makes sure we never store the password in the clear text. See, for example, trigger when it will fire. For example, if you are doing any update, if you are doing any insert, what you need to do is you need to hash the password and store it in the database. See, let's see this trigger, create or replace trigger name before insert on users, on users table. For each row means it will be for every row. So begin, I'm beginning the program. So I have created one sequence to generate the user ID. See, I have created the sequence here, create sequence, minval, maxval. These are you people familiar. I think you might familiar with this. Fine. So this select statement, what it will do is get a unique sequence value to use as the primary key. Fine. So what we told, we should ensure that when we are enabling the trigger, this password should be hashed using the hash password function. See, make sure to save the username in uppercase. That is the second step. Fine. See, for example, sometimes when we build the UI, we forget, people will enter some junk characters, some junk characters in the sense, it's like they will be entering lower characters and upper characters. So we should make sure that it should be uppercase. So that's what this line is doing it, and has the password. So we are not saving the clear text. See, hash password, this hash password will have two parameters. One is username and another one is new password. Okay, fine. And you need to enable the trigger using alter command. Fine. Then let's discuss about before update user trigger. See what it will do. Make sure to save the username in uppercase. If password is not null, then you need to hash it and save it. If password is there, then you just update the old password. This is the genuine way of maintaining the trigger for this custom authentication. Fine. So now we have created function to hash the password with the help of username, password, as well as the salt string. And then we have created the table And we have created two triggers. One is before update, another one which will execute before update on the table, and another one is before insert on the table. Fine. And third is we need to create one function which is called authenticate user. You can give any name, but it should be readable format. I am following in that way. You can give object name also. You can change as per your requirement, as per your organization policy, and function name also you can change as per your organization policy. This is the standard I am using it. So authenticate user function that will form the basis of our custom authentication scheme, which means this is the heart of this custom authentication policy. See, okay, what this function will do. See, this function will do three steps. Three check it will do. First, this function will check whether the given user is exists in the table, in the database or not. Okay, if this function found, okay, this user is exists, then it will hashes the password which you provided. Fine. And then what it will do, then it will compare the new hash to the hash password that we have stored in the database, which means, for example, stored password equal to hashed password, then it will allow. If anything goes wrong, it will reject the user and log the results. So function name is authenticate user. Okay, let's see the function. I will be explaining the function. See, this is the function I have created. Function is authenticate user. It has two parameters. One is p username, p password. This function will return Boolean. Everyone knows what is Boolean. It will return either true or false. If something goes wrong, it will return false. If success, then it will return true. I have declared here four variables. One is L username and L password, L hashed password. See, this username and password is to get the database username password, and this hashed password variable to what see, hashed password will be assigned to this L hashed password variable, and L count, which will be checking whether this user is existing in this database or not. Okay, and I have given some comments over here. See, this function returns these values from 0 to 7. See, if in your case, if it is more than that, you can do this. See, I will explain you. If 0 means normal and successful. See, if this function returns 0, which means normal and successful. If it is returning 1 means unknown username in the sense which that user doesn't exist in the database. Fine. So, and then 2, if this function returning 2, then account is logged. 3 means account is expired. 4 means you have entered incorrect password. 5 means password first use. 6 means maximum login attempt. So 7 means unknown internal error. Okay. See, first thing, as I told you earlier, first thing this function will check whether this user exists in the database or not. Check to see if the user exists. See, select count star into L count from the table users where username equal to L username. Here I am not doing any upper because I already did here. So this is this is a good practice when you start writing application. No, sorry, when start writing PL SQL. See, anyway, you are using this variable. If you are doing upper here, then you can use this variable anywhere in this package, anywhere in the function. See, if you are not doing this upper, where all you are using this L underscore username, you need to use this upper keyword. It will cost your program. So keep it mind that when you start writing programming, that should be reusable program. Okay, fine. So let's assume if user is exist. So count is greater than 0. Counter is greater than 0 means user is exist. So then has the password which we have provided. See, we have function as password. I am passing L username. L username is nothing but the username which user provided. L password. No, I am passing P password because what all user is giving, I am going to hash. So I am storing that hash to password into L hash to password, which will be definitely equal to, it should be equal to the password which we already stored. Fine, right? See, and then get the stored password. See, select password into L password variable from users where username equal to L username. It will have the stored password. See, compare the two passwords, and if it matches, then return to. I am saying, see, L hashed password equal to, I should say L stored password, then people will not get confused. Okay. You just change the variable to L password to L stored password, then it will be for you guys, it will be easy to understand. So L hashed password equal to L stored password, then we can say it's a good result. So there is Apex UTL set authentication result. I am saying 0. 0 means return true. So which means normal and successful authentication. Else that password is did not match. I am printing 4. So it will return fail and it will print incorrect password. Fine. Else, for example, see, if L count is 0, then else if user doesn't exist, then it will print 1 unknown user, then return false. See here, out of this if loop, I have called this Apex utility. I am setting the result 7. So if something weird happened, it will come here and it will return fast. See, whenever you are writing PL SQL package, you must have exception to capture unexpected errors. See, when exception, when others, then I'm saying 7. See, result, it will print 7. 7 is nothing but unexpected error. See, unknown internal error or unexpected error. And see, this set custom status, this API, what it will do, it will store the SQL error into the log. Fine. So we have created function, hash function, hash password function, and user table. And we have created a record sequence. We have created record triggers, and we have created important function which will return Boolean. So to check whether this user is valid user or not. Fine. So we have created these many objects. So finally, we need to populate some data since we don't have the UI to create the users. So when it comes to your organization, you just build the application to capture the user informations. So when you are storing password, you must remember that it has to be hashed or it should be encrypted. So to get us started, I would add the default user. See, this is a insert into user. I just added one records into the table. Fine. Okay. This is the authentication scheme. Okay. First, we will be compiling this object in the workspace. First, let's go to the practical session. Oracle.com opening. Are you able to see my screen, Apex screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am logging with my credentials. Okay. So it's logged in now. See, I am going app builder. I'm going to create new application. So I'm just saying custom authentication. Okay. I'm creating the application. When we are creating the application, the default authentication will be Apex accounts. See, these all you guys know this. See, now I am putting my Apex account password. See, then system will understood that, okay, this guy is authorized user. If I'm trying with a different password, it will not work. Now we are going to change the authentication from Apex application express account to custom authentication. First thing what we need to do is we need to compile the objects. So I would say best practice to compile the object is not to go to SQL workshop and go like some people will directly go to SQL commands and they will copy one by one and they will be compiling. I would not prefer that way. So what you need to do is you need to go to SQL scripts. I think many people will know this. This will be the good practice. Okay. So I'm saying custom authentication script. Oh, sorry, I have to upload. Sorry. See, I am uploading the file now because we already prepared the data. Sorry, we already prepared the DDL. So I just uploaded saying custom authentication. Okay. So I am compiling the script now. See, it has compiled with the 0 errors. If any error comes, it will be stamping here. So we have 9 objects. So this 9 was successful. First, it has created hash password, function created, and the sequence has created, and the table has created, user table has created, and BA user before insert trigger has created and trigger has been enabled. So BU user also, trigger also created and it's enabled. And then final function authenticate user that also created successfully. And we have loaded one data into the table, one data into the user table to check our custom authentication whether it is working or not. Okay, when you now you can go to SQL commands. Now I am going to check whether the data is reflected in this table. See the password, how I stored. Hope everyone understood this. See, if you see the script here, what I have given, username admin, password also admin I have given, but how it has stored in the database, the encrypted format, nobody can decrypt this. That is the power of that DBMS of question toolkit. See, username is admin, so password is encrypted. It's a hashed password. So that hash will happen based on the username, password, as well as the salt. It's like a salt is nothing but the random string we have given. Fine. Now we have done this. We have compiled the object. So what would be the next step? See, we need to set up the authentication scheme. Correct. Where we need to go? We need to go to the app builder first and select the application where you want to create the authentication. We see this is the application which we have created, custom authentication. So if you see here, option called shared components and security, because authentication authorization that all comes under the security category. Under the security, there is an option called authentication schemes. See, now the authentication scheme is application express accounts. What is this current? Current means this is the current authentication. Now we need to create new authentication, which is custom authentication. See, it is very, very simple. You need to click create button and create scheme based on the pre-configured section. Fine. So I am clicking next and I am saying my authentication or custom authentication. I am saying custom authentication. By default, scheme type will be application express account, but we don't want that. So we are focusing on custom. And I wanted to tell you that these are all the scheme types you can do this. See, application express account is nothing but the affects your workspace username password you need to provide. Custom means which we are doing it now, and database account there is logic for that also, and HTTP header which is nothing but SSL. You might sorry, not SSL, that is single sign on, SSO. So when you are logging into the system, the same username password you can do. You can use for your Apex application to log in. That is called SSO, that is HTTP header variables. and LDAP directory. LDAP directory is nothing but Active Directory. So you can integrate with Active Directory. No authentication means that application is public. And open door credential. Open door credential, when it will useful if, see, for example, when you are sending request to the mobile, so that that guy can easily able to approve the request through the from the mobile. So for that, we will be sending one authentication key. So that concept is called open door authentication. And then social sign-on. This topic will be a little interesting, like social sign-on. So you can integrate with the LinkedIn and then Facebook, Instagram. So many. So what all is like a Twitter. So you can integrate. You can use your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook credential to logging in your Apex application. Okay. Now we are focusing on custom. As soon as you click custom, some settings will be there. See, the step which you need to remember is authentication function name. See, we need to provide the authentication function name. So this is the function which we have created. So I have created, for example, if any PLSQL code, you can paste it there. Currently we don't have. And one more thing, see, post authentication. This will execute post authentication. For example, after the authentication, if you want to redirect to this application needs to be redirected to different pages, you can write PLSQL code over here. Fine. So authentication function name we have given. Fine. When I am click create authentication scheme, this will create authentication scheme. And one more thing, this will be the default authentication scheme. See, before what we have seen is application express account, that is the default authentication. When you are creating new authentication, that will be the current one. See, now I just created custom. See, if you see custom authentication current, before this application express account was, that was the current one. So now the authentication which we created became current one. Fine. So now I am running the application. I am just sign out. I am trying with my Apex account username. Will it work? It will not. It should not work. See, it has throw error. It has throw error. Why? Because we were using wrong credential. Now we have changed it to custom, right? So I'm saying admin. Now it will go. See, it has got success. Okay. So now it has got success. Fine. See, that's what I explained here. The authentication scheme. Some important point needs to be noted here. See, Apex assume that the function you indicate, authentication function take in two parameter. Already we told it will return the boolean that indicates whether user has been successfully authenticated or not. That's why you need to call only one function, which we call this authenticated user. Fine. After creating the new authentication scheme, Apex automatically set it as a default authentication for the application. Fine. See, at this point, you no need to use your application express user credential, but instead you need to using the entries in your users table, which you have created. See, the important thing is this part. See, I would say go to SQL commands. When you query SQL table, click on history to see the SQL table. When you running this query, see, this password is hashed actually. Nobody can track this password. That is the best part. So this is the way you should build the custom authentication. So this is the way Oracle also using it. If you want reference, you can check this reference. That is the Oracle blogs. So they are following the same way. Okay. And then if you have great ideas, comments or questions, you can reach out to me via email, Twitter, WhatsApp. You can post a chat at any time related to Oracle Apex. And whenever you have a time, you just please visit my blog or clicking.blogpost.com. I have created more than 100 blog posts on Oracle Apex. And then this is my communication channels, Twitters and LinkedIn. So if you want, you can start following it. Or if you have any queries, you can reach out to me via Twitter as well as LinkedIn. Okay, now I'm over to everyone. So if you have any question, you can shoot to me. So I hope everybody understood this concept clearly, how the custom authentication
Sir, I
works.
just have one question. Like, what package do you use?
For what?
Like that encryption?
Yeah, encryption, I have used DBMS of Kuskan. 1 second. See, that is a toolkit. Okay, I'm going to this screen. See, there is a function, see, of Kuskan toolkit. So, and MD5 algorithm. So that algorithm concept is big. When you start understanding MD5, you will clearly understood what that algorithm is doing. See, this toolkit has many encryption concept and many APIs. So in this toolkit, I am only picking MD5 to encrypt the password. So you please understand what is MD5. So that is a big concept. I don't have time to explain that. That is a big algorithm, how they are encrypting using username, password, and the salt string which I have given. You understood, right, Gabriel? See, this is the toolkit this Oracle has given.
Yes, sir.
We no need to do anything with that. See, and one more thing I wanted to share with you guys. See, if we go to my blog post, I have clearly talk about how you can effectively encrypt and decrypt your user password. See, go to blog post, you just type encrypt. I think encryption or something I have. 1 second. Okay, I will find this blog because I have created long back. So in LinkedIn also I posted. Okay, now you can ask questions.
So anybody has any doubt, you can ask him directly because it's an open section. First of all, today's performance of Karpel is amazing. Means like, so many things which, which is, drafted in a proper way. Because normally, webinar and all, like it's skipping the PowerPoint session. We don't know what is happening. So in the end of the section, okay, we have seen something, that's it. But today you have presented in a like a structured way. A beginner can learn the step by step. You are presenting and going back to your code and explaining the code. Really, it is an amazing performance by Kargwel Tanga Mariappan. Really appreciated your effort because it's not an easy to present. Like this way, you have done a groundwork, maybe more than 2 hours or 3 hours. You have did a presentation and and writing the code and being a busy schedule, you're helping the community. It is a great achievement, and at the same time we are very proud of you. And thank you so much for your time spending with us. Once again, on behalf of Kerala chapter and the Enoch, I appreciate your effort and today's section. Now, students, please, like students in the sense like members, please ask questions, because getting him, like this way, this, you have to use it, make use of, like if you have any doubt related to the custom authentication, kindly please ask him. He can be with us maybe another 10 minutes also, or 15 minutes also, because tomorrow is holiday for us, because Sunday, before it was Friday, now it is Sunday, so that you can ask any doubt related to this. Thank you once again.
Thanks.
uh, Arun, you can say a few words about today's section, and I would like to hear a few words from you.
Yeah, hi Raja sir, it's very great to have you on board. And as we always say, the session was really helpful for the students as well to understand the background process as well, because the background process has been explained very well, including what the observed functions has been doing it, as well as the toolkit. And
Yeah.
also to add one more point, as you mentioned out, there's a MD5. There are some more other algorithms also for the same. It's not only MD5, but we have some other algorithms as well.
Correct.
But as Raja sir told, that it is a pretty big topic, and it's a huge topic, because to understand the security level as well, which is happening backside. And it was really a great amazing session as well. And we always looking forward to hear more from you and more other sessions from you. Thank you.
Sir, can you share the file?
Definitely, I will share with Matthew, sir, and you can
The code file.
submit.
Like,
Code file. Okay.
Yeah,
he
definitely,
will- yeah.
definitely, I will share.
Yeah. Gabriel, you don't worry. We will create a PDF file and share it to the complete presentation and the code. You are the youngest member, so we have to say, we cannot say no to you, because you are the younger. Always like kids will ask something, you have to give. So same thing. You are the youngest member in our organization and even Apex community. We will give you everything. And Rafiq, you can also say some few words about today's thing. We like about today's section.
Yeah. As usual, Karkavel is explaining each and every aspect of the subject, in detail, so that anybody can understand. Maybe a beginner can understand from scratch. So his explanation, his session is very, very useful, I think, for the youngsters.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rafiq, for your valuable words. And as a token of appreciation, because we are not US, most of the people are not even open the camera. If you can just put a thumb or clapping hands on your Zoom, let me take one picture for it, because as a token of appreciation, because he's also spending a time with us, we have to please let all the people put the logo, and I'm going to take a screenshot. I know it's then I can share with him. Okay. All right. Okay. Just everybody, I will tell you 1, 2, 3, then all the people should put that logo so that I can just put a screenshot of it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let us. Yes. Okay. We love everybody, okay. As a, Apex, members, and, as a, youngster who wanted to, come to a, the next level. All right. Thank you so much once again. Okay. Do you have any, you have any questions? Please ask him.
Do you want me to take any specific topic which you are lagging or which you wish to understand? So kindly let me know. So I'm open to take the sessions actually. See, to prepare this PPD, as you said, Matthew, I spent complete 4 hours actually. 1 o'clock I was sitting. I started preparing all this code, because that code has to work actually. When I'm uploading, if it gives error, it will be nervous for everyone.
Correct.
So, because people are attending, and I'm happy with that actually. So if you have, thank you, sir. If anybody wants to take this specific topic, if it is new to me also, I will do the R&D, I will learn it, and I can share my knowledge.
We really appreciate that, Raja, because and that's what we are able to see in your presentations as well.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Good.
So nobody has any doubt, or anyway, Karkwel will share the presentation and stuff with us as a PDF file. And I can also, either we can post it, or I think Karkwel, your blog also will describe these things. Or...
Yeah, but I haven't written a blog on custom authentication with this explained manner. I will prepare the blog and I will post it over there. Then we can.
Yeah. Good for him also.
Yeah. That is better for him, as everybody can access it. But our young Gabriel has asked something, so kindly please share it. I will share him. Let him also do the practice. Okay.
Sir, I understood the code, but then the writing of the code is bit.
Yeah. That is even Gabriel. I cannot help you to write a full thing also. Frankly, because I'm experienced also, but sometimes better to cut and paste is better than finding out the error. Okay.
People are very focusing about output oriented, actually outcome oriented.
Yes.
They are not interested in how this is happening. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So, okay. So let us, if there is no questions, anyway, we would like to, invite again Kargwel, for the, continuous sections with us for, topics. I think, we would like to ask you, like, if you have something to, like to mention or something, you can just, send an email to him, or maybe you can catch him, through the Twitter account or social media, and request him, so that next sections we can include that. So it is good for everybody. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Rafiq, for joining from Oman, and I would like to add you in the Kannur chapter, and you can also, because you are a very experienced, in database and business intelligence and all. We also want some intelligence from you to understand how we're helpful for the youngsters. Okay. Thanks for your your time, and joining and encouraging us. So everybody, happy weekend, and see you soon for the next section. Karugwel, once again, thank you so much. And I'm very happy today, because I also learned few things today from your
Thanks.
quotes and all. So really, it's a amazing performance by Karugwel. Okay, thank you so much. See
Thank
you.
you so
Bye.
much.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.